The road to 69,000 draft starts. No, we're going to recap the conference championship DFS slate. We can tab through the playoff best ball gauntlet as well and look at all of my dead teams, maybe a little Super Bowl preview, whatever you guys are feeling on this snowy Monday morning. I'm Pete. This is the Portfolio Review. Let's do it.
I suffer from a debilitating condition known as atrophic chokitis.
Peter's one of the greatest depositors I've ever seen.
Trust the process. Let's go. Let's go.
I got auto match with Levitan. This is bullshit.
If I just go the other way in that 66, I win all the money. All the money.
If I had 150 lineups, I'd win too.
Process over results.
Illuminati make a bitch go crazy. I don't know which one of these my baby. Bust down AP, cut 5 bullets to your head like KD. Bust it, bitch go bust it. And I had 10 pints with me in Russia.
Hey everyone.
All right, GMs all around. My guy David, it wouldn't be a portfolio review without 5 gifted memberships. I appreciate you, David. Thank you so much. You know what I need to do today? I'm going to gift some memberships today as well. I think it'll allow me to do that. It doesn't allow me to do it through StreamYard, but I am going to try to match David in all of his generosity and gift some memberships as well. He says, last Monday morning, 5 gifted for the season. Been a great year. Love the community. See everyone in August. Wow. David, do you really? You go, I'm going to take a break, but I'm not going to be taking a break until August. You take a full break until August? That's impressive. If so, what's up, You Talk Sports? My guy, PD, doing the Lord's work over at bbmdb.com. GMs to our Pick'em King, Josh. We have everyone's favorite referee hitting them with the Ali chunk, the deuce. What's up, Steven? Rob? Thank you, T Cage. Thank you, guys. My first comment today, the Discord link is broken. Thank you for pointing that out. I think I had a vanity link in there, and we must have lost some of our privileges in the server, but I did just update that before the show as well. So if you guys want to join us in the Deposit Kingdom, that link should now be working there in the show notes. Man, yeah, today I was, last night, the games end and, I got alerted on Twitter to the fact that I had won. And I was kind of pouting because I'm like, oh man, all my gauntlet teams died. I needed the Rams to win to be live. And then someone told me on Twitter that I had won the Fullback Dive, which I genuinely wasn't sweating that. I didn't know that I was in contention there. I was just staring at my playoff best ball teams and writing the Fantasy Life newsletter. And so that was a very nice thing to see. And we'll recap those lineups in a little bit. But I'm still down bad this morning because we got absolutely hammered with snow. We have no childcare today. Lauren and I are both working, or I guess if you can call this working or not, we can debate that. But yes, so it is going to be a chaotic day here. But we're gonna press onward. We had to get a portfolio review. I wasn't able to do one last week because I was traveling back on Monday. I promise I didn't just not do one because I lost again last week. It was purely due to travel, and we had to get one back fired up here again. T Cage, upstate New York here, and a good old snowed in day. Yeah, I mean, the governor here called it a snow day 36 hours in advance. Everything was shut down, but our streets already cleared. We got the driveway plowed, but does not change the fact that we have no childcare for today and must press onward. All right, let's see here. I think we should pour some coffee. I believe that's what we do on this show. I take 1 week off and I can barely remember what we even do around here. All right. There's the coffee here. Farmers Insurance Open first look. Yes, we will be looking at all of the advanced analytics. Tee to green, drive long down and distance. What are some other golf stats that I can tout? Yes. No, I am in the Rick Run Good big one and done there. I don't believe I've been doing good the first 2 weeks, but there's always time. there's always time to get good at it. Let's see here. We are going to start with DraftKings. I did make a SPY lineup at the last minute. I said I just can't resist punting $100 into the DraftKings ecosystem. Let me verify my phone number to get into my account because I'm not allowed to enter my account anymore. And then we can look at my my SPY lineup. We can also talk about my stint as a laundry bro. It lasted about 2.5 weeks and then it died. Jarrett Stidham, he killed our hopes and dreams. I actually am not going to really pit it on him. He was fine. But once the snow hit, there was nothing you could do. What did you guys think about that decision from Sean Payton not to kick that field goal when they were down there up 7-0? I think we all preach aggressiveness. We all like aggressiveness from these coaches. I think getting a 2-score lead in that game when you have Jarrett Stidham as your quarterback is probably the prudent thing to do. The real thing that I think is the debate is if the weather is going to get that bad, because the conditions for that game changed drastically from the first to the fourth quarter. And if you have any knowledge whatsoever that the conditions are going to be that bad in the second half, you absolutely kick that field goal. Even if you don't know that, I still kind of think you kick that field goal, especially with how well the defense has been playing and how much Drake May was struggling early. But I don't know. I want to make sure we're not doing the have it both ways thing where we, crush these coaches for not being aggressive and then we crush them when they are aggressive. But man, you got to give at least Sean Payton some kudos. The dude has some balls. Like, he was not really changing much of the game plan just because it was Stidham. He was going to call the exact same game plan there. TK, I'm a Pats fan and a pro Gopher guy, but was shocked they went for it. Yeah, I think, if it was just to get them to a 1-score lead, or if they were up 3-0, and it's getting you to 6-0, I get it. But man, 2 scores in that game and just taking a lot of the pressure off of Stidham in the offense and just saying, hey, defense, get a couple of stops. It seems like that's the way to go. Yosh, I was under the impression the weather for both games is going to be fine. I'll tell you what, it would have been absolutely insane if the AFC Championship game was in New England. I live like 15 minutes from the stadium. Things were already completely out of control as far as the roads, the weather, everything by like 1:30, 2 p.m. Eastern. That would have been quite the shit show if that game had been played there. But yeah, the weather in Denver kind of came out of nowhere as well. Yeah, they did miss lots of missed field goals, although a lot of the other missed field goals were when the conditions had worsened, and that was kind of like a gimme shot, right? Weren't they at like the 12-yard line or something? You would have thought that would have been a gimme there. But yeah, I saw that Roth tweet as well, that the severity of the storm kind of came out of nowhere. But yeah. All right, let's we can talk some DFS here. Let me share my screen. I did not min cash the SPY. I did have to play, of course, Jarrett Stidham. I mean, what's the point of being a laundry bro if you can't play Jarrett Stidham in the SPY? The thing that was fun about Stidham is you were able to get him with all of the studs. So this lineup was a Stidham, Harvey, Sutton, Pat Bryant, Broncos defense onslaught. But it had Kenneth Walker. Oops, why did I click him? Kenneth Walker, Puka Nacua, JSN, and Parkinson. So obviously getting in Puka in JSN and Walker as kind of the 3 top plays on the slate, and then just hoping that the Broncos could score points. But this was clearly one of those slates where you wanted to be all over one game and having full faded another game. I believe in the Millie contest, which we can pull up in a second, that there was only one piece from the Broncos Patriots game in the winning lineup, and that was the Broncos defense with 9 points. So in this one, Stidham 22%, which is pretty funny, but you get it for the salary relief there. He only scores 9.62 points. Kenneth Walker, 86.9% owned, more owned than Puka, more owned than JSN. Just everybody playing an 8v8 on DraftKings yesterday with Kenneth Walker. He scores 21.1. RJ Harvey, 36%, scores 9.9. He actually looked fine. He was making some guys miss early and then just had no footing whatsoever once it turned into a snowball. Puka goes off 34.9 points at 85% ownership. I'm kind of surprised at the Sutton ownership, only 15%. That would have been a jam, I think, had you known Sutton was only going to be 15% there at 5,700, 10.7. Pat Bryant, same kind of deal. The passing game just died. And then it was basically short stuff or deep shots. And Pat Bryant was not involved, 1.3 points. Parkinson had a pretty good game. He also just dropped a pass that should have been a walk-in touchdown as well. 9.2 points there. JSN looked phenomenal last night. That's like the one silver lining. I didn't really want to watch Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl, but holy shit, like JSN is just playing on another level right now. Very excited to get to see him in the Super Bowl, 34.3 points. But yeah, first place, Cheeseballs takes it down here with a Darnold game stack. And again, yes, very similar lineup, I believe, to what took down the Millie. Sam Darnold, Kenneth Walker, JSN, Cup, and then coming back, Corum, Adams, Parkinson, Nakua. So a full-blown game stack. And then Broncos defense, 181.64 points, good for $50,000 there. But yeah, we had mentioned it on Off and On the Clock, where this was one of those slates where you would be fully justified just picking not only a single game, but a single offense. Obviously, that's a little easier to do on Underdog with only the 6 roster spots versus the 9. But man, full fading that Patriots-Broncos game was certainly the move yesterday. Someone had asked about our Swolecast lineup on Twitter, saying that it had to have done decently. It did. Min cashed the Millie. I put it in here. It scored 155.14 points. Hate to steal the Swolecast thunder by previewing this early. But yeah, we had a Darnold, JSN, Ken Walker, Shaheed. Shaheed had that big bomb right off the rip and then was not to be heard from again, kind of par for the course for him this playoffs. Ramondre, man, like watching that game, it felt like Ramondre had 150 scrimmage yards, but everything was so difficult that I think it felt like it was worth more than it was, because as I see here, he only had 71 scrimmage yards. And then first place, we had a dupe train up top. And I believe, is this the exact same lineup that took down the Spy? I think it is. The Darnold, Ken Walker, JSN, Cup with the Corum, Puka, Colby, Parkinson, Adams bring back. Yeah. 181.64. Not too bad though. I would like to win $1 million by myself, but the next best thing would be splitting it 5 ways with some friends up here. I guess how many ways is this? Yeah, more than, what do we have? 6 people, but they get to split all those top 6 prizes for $200K each. Not a bad day. Not a bad day at the office there. You guys are absolutely sick with the big board stuff. Have I drafted any big boards yet? No, I have not drafted any big boards yet. I'm legitimately, I do this every year. Well, I have for the past 3 years. I take a break. I go big boardless for a little bit. I don't think I will be in the big board streets for a little while there. You can check out Davis Maddock, who has a mental illness that compelled him to stream concurrently against the AFC Championship game yesterday. You can find him, and all of your big board needs can be serviced by one Mr. Davis Maddock during these cold, chilly months. But yeah, I need a break. I need a break, but we will get in those streets eventually. But you guys must soldier on without me right now. Yosh says back-to-back weeks going all in on Bryant and getting a first quarter injury. We are on to golf and dinger season. Yeah, I will say I am looking forward to being a multi-sport drafthlete with the Badge Bros. We'll be doing some Off and On the Clock shows. I'm sure we'll be doing some more hoops with these dog bowl slates, which, by the way, shout out to John Warner. We did the show on Friday covering that dog bowl slate, John, Nez, Zakarian, and John with his cheeky Sabonis scroll on the Kings. We were all worried about his minutes. I say we as if I was actually concerned about Sabonis's minutes. But John knew to scroll to him, knowing that when the minutes came, he was an absolute smash, gets those 50-plus points in his lineup, and punches his ticket to Los Angeles for the dog bowl. So, yeah, shout out to John. Very well-deserved ball knower, hoops knower there, and excited that he qualified for the dog bowl, and excited to fire at the dog bowl a little bit more myself as well. Yeah, I'd completely missed the hammy injury there initially. Yeah, he cannot make it through a quarter. It was the game against the Bills in the divisional round where he had, 3 targets on essentially the first 3 plays of the game and then got that concussion and left. He can just not stay healthy. Absolutely brutal. Yeah, we'll be dabbling. We'll be dabbling here. I don't have too much else to say about DraftKings. I did not spend a lot of time on it. I went into the solver and run the sims. I looked at the top lineups and I said, what was the best Jarrett Stidham lineup? I put that in the SPY and I called it a day. But yeah, let's move over and look at some underdog stuff where I did have my best week of the year, which it is nice. Don't get me wrong. But there were a lot of bad weeks leading up to that. I am still not unstuck on the 2025 season, but it does not hurt to finally get a W there so we can review these. And then after this, we will look at some of the playoff best ball stuff as well. Had my lowest volume week of the year as well. I mentioned it on off and on the clock and stuff. It's just hard for me to get super excited about the PTP slates. But maybe I should have gotten more excited about it. We could start with my W here in the fullback dive. Shout out to Underdog. This was the biggest fullback dive of the year with a $10,000 first place prize. Someone can correct me in the chat, but I want to say normally the fullback dives are like 6,000, 8,000 first place. So I picked a good week to take this one down. I did get the GM start here with the Matthew Stafford premium double to Puka and Adams. This was a GM start for sure, but it wasn't super rare. There were a lot of teams at the top of the other contests who were able to get it. But I remember when I got it in the fullback dive, I remember drafting this on Sunday morning and I was like, oh, that seems fun. And it was definitely just don't drop the baby moment once you got the Stafford Adams. So obviously Puka at pick 1, you come back around. Stafford is there, which isn't too rare. He had an ADP of 7.8. I get him at 8, but Adams was the one who fell here. ADP of 6.4. He slides a few slots to 9. So I'm able to lock that up. I come back around and do Colby Parkinson and Cooper Kupp there. I had been randomizing in the big battle royale, Ferguson, Higbee. We talked about that on off and on the clock. But in this smaller contest, when I got the GM start, I said, I'm not fucking around with Ferg and Higbee. So just did Parkinson and Kupp. And then really just dependent on whatever running back comes back. And in this one, Blake Corum did fall. And I was happy to do the full Rams onslaught here. So 5 Rams, 1 Seahawk, no Broncos, 101.56 points. Good for first place in the fullback dive. And I'm curious, was that the exact same lineup that took down the big one here? I did not do well in this one. Yeah, 101.56. So there was a big chop up top here. A ton of teams had this one. What is that? 11 teams? 11 teams had that. So they all split a nice 10K prize there. So had I had this same lineup in the main one, I also would have been holding hands and walking away with a similar amount of money. So a lot of people found their way on this lineup, apparently. So congratulations to everyone in here. What do we have? Paydi, Guru, the Don, Esmeranda, of course, Yodrian, Buster Boys, classic. Big, Oh My, Joshy, T Smyrn, Vince, Casey, and Juju. Congratulations. You guys all chopped it up there for just under 10K. And then the more controversial of my wins in the very own titular Deposit Kingdom tournament, I didn't have quite that exact lineup, but a similar lineup. And I drafted this one. Someone pointed this out on Twitter. This one was drafted on After Dark on Saturday night, or no, was that Friday night? Friday night, because I did 1 Deposit Kingdom with the Badge Bros on off and on the clock on Friday. And then I did my 2 other Deposit Kingdom entries on the show. And so very similar start, except it was JSN from the 3 hole instead of Puka. And then I came back and I grabbed Adams. So I was going to do the Adams JSN and then Stafford fall. So I was happy to do Stafford with Adams and JSN. same deal. Sutton was the faller here as well. Instead of having Cup on this, I got Sutton and then the same 2 other Rams to round out the onslaught there, Blake Corum and Colby Parkinson. So 98.06 points takes down the Deposit Kingdom League for 1K. And then we had Surum in here, friend of the show, Ship Chaser here in second place with a very similar lineup. Basically the exact same lineup as the one that I used to take down the Fullback Dive, except he had Evan Ingram instead of Colby Parkinson at tight end there. And then we had Denny Dinsmore here in third place. Again, very similar lineup. The Rams onslaught, but with Mac Hollins as the third wide receiver instead there. So with the Puka and JSN scores, definitely ended up being a week where you needed one of those guys, preferably Puka there in round 1, and then cobbling together running back points late, just because Walker didn't separate enough from Puka and JSN to matter. And then none of the other mid-round running backs, Harvey, Kyron, and who was the other one that I'm blanking on right now? Ramondre. None of them really scored enough to be optimal there. So you end up just seeing Corum on most of these lineups here. Look at all of you guys trying to goad me into your sport of choice, the Albatross. Yeah, like I said, we're going to get some shows lined up on Off and On the Clock. I will try to donate back some of these winnings into the ecosystem via other sports. But yes, appreciate all of this. You guys think I'm going to turn into a PTPer here? Yeah, you could see. So my volume heading into Sunday morning, I had like 15 BRs. I had done a few that we had done on the show. And then Sunday morning there, I'm at the counter and I was like, you know what? I want to get my fullback dives in. I want to add a few more. There was the Blitz, which was the $50 single entry that, holy cow, look at this team. This was a Stidham team that finished nearly dead last in the Blitz. And I said, you know what? Let me get some entries in. And sure enough, it's the meme, right? The guy with the pickaxe. You're just going. Right when I was about to quit, I said, you know what? Before lock, we're going to do a few more fullback dives. And I guess there's a lesson in that. I bricked out in the main big BR. Didn't have anything else in some of these contests. I do love the Hail Mary contest. You can see here, Falco takes it down. This is the Dog Bowl style tournament where it's essentially winner take all. But yeah, I meant to get some more entries in here. I had one that I thought was looking okay, a Darnold JSN Cup double stack, but you really needed, again, the Stafford premium double, the Stafford onslaught. And then again, you could kind of cycle through whichever third wide receiver here. This one was Shaheed. So always fun when you can turn $20 into 8K there, like Falco was able to do. Jake says, tuning in and Pete Shipper is still on the screen. The first 18 minutes, it was not, Jake, but I appreciate that you're coming in late and not understanding the trajectory of the show. B-Zigs finished dead last in the Blitz. Yeah. You know what? Sometimes you had to take some shots on Jarrett Stidham. Let's see what my exposure was. Yeah, there you go. Most drafted quarterback. Most drafted overall player here. Jarrett Stidham to Pat Bryant. That was the slappy backstack on this slate for sure. It was always there. It was cheap. It was calling me like a siren song there. Yeah, but again, like exposures don't matter. You just have to find that one lineup there. 43% Stidham, 31% Harvey. Did only had 18% Puka. I actually didn't get a ton of 101s there, so I had to maximize it when I did. And then, yeah, Hunter Henry. How I ended up with this much Ingram is confusing to me because I really hated Evan Ingram, but I do really think it was just getting stuck with Stidham with my last two picks and trying to find some correlation. And often it was Evan Ingram there as well. Let's see here. Anybody else have any binks in here or anything we need to review on the BR slate before we head on to playoff best ball here. Who won the Badge Bros Brawl? T Miles. T Miles took it down again. Classic with the premium double here. Stafford to Puka and Adams, Kyron, RJ Harvey, Parkinson. I'm kind of surprised Kyron wasn't in more lineups, but I guess with the 13.1 points in the regular contest, you were just having to choose between him and Adams. And because Adams outscored him by 3 points, it made it really hard for Kyron to end up in the optimal lineups there. Yosh was with me on 50%. Pat Bryant. Yeah, it'll be, you know what? I can't help myself. I want to see where the sickos are drafting Pat Bryant right now in the pre-draft best ball. What's the Bryant ADP? I'm curious. 130.4. Might have to hop in there and get some 130.4 Pat Bryant. There you go. We could do a little ADP review at the end of the show here. Harvey 46, Sutton 57. That gap between Bryant and Sutton looks nice. And also Dobbins, man. I would certainly be willing to take shots on Dobbins at that price. I think had Dobbins not gotten hurt, he clearly would have been the lead back for the Broncos down this stretch. And if he was accumulating, 12 to 15 points a game, his ADP would be significantly higher right now. So that strikes me as pretty decent. All right, let's go look at playoff best ball, where my advance rates look awesome, but they are all dead teams. They are all dead teams, and you guys can watch me relabel these in real time. There was a point yesterday where I thought this was going to break really well. The biggest mitten team that I drafted with Neil on stream was actually in second place, and in this biggest mitten format was going to be good enough to advance because it's top two. But we were basically in a 1v1 versus this Meehan team. He had a lot of our stuff blocked because he had a huge Patriots onslaught, but that basically all failed. But he had Puka and we had Kyron. And so early on, Kyron scores that touchdown and we're in second there. And I'm like, oh man, this could break awesome. We get this team to the Big Mitten finals. We have Stafford, we have Kyron, we have Higbee, Parkinson. You would think if the Rams win, having even four pieces in a really small field final would play, but we get chased down by Puka and then the Rams don't even win. So this team would have been dead anyways. And then in the gauntlet, I'm sitting here with all of these Rams stacks. Here's a 5 Rams, 1 Denver that advances, 6 Rams, 2 New England that advances, 4 Rams, 2 New England advances. And then I lost a 6 Rams, 1 New England, 4 Rams, 2 Denver, 4 Rams, 2 Denver. So like the Denver ones, whatever. But this was the one that was going to be fun to have if the Rams win. It was Stafford, Kyron, Corum, Puka, Parkinson, Higbee, and then Hunter Henry and Ramondre on the other side. So that would have been live to make a little bit of noise. Have no clue how blocked it would have been. But yeah, advancing all of these or these 4 teams to the finals, and they are all dead. But that is just how playoff best ball goes. Let's ceremoniously rename all of these dead. That one's dead. This was a 4 Rams. This was Stafford, Corum, Puka, and Parkinson with Booty and Ramondre coming back. It was nice knowing you. You're dead. What's the other one? This was 6 Rams, 1 New England. So Stafford, Kyron, Corum, Puka, Higbee, Parkinson, and then Ramondre on the bring back. That is dead. Ooh, actually, we both tied up top here. It doesn't really matter. Or does it matter? Yeah, so who cares? Who cares? PD, what did you say the tiebreaker stuff is? When it was drafted? Is that how it works? I guess that's a $150 swing here as far as $500 min cash versus $350 in second place. Whatever, it's dead. So there you go. Dead teams, but a fun playoff best ball year nonetheless. We had a team that we had drafted on ship chasing that is not going to advance. But yeah, let's go see what are some of the teams that are looking incredible in the gauntlet. I believe I saw, let's see here. I mean, what do you really want in the gauntlet right now heading into the playoffs? Obviously, you want a full roster. You want JSN. Just having Darnold has to be a huge edge just because there's way more May, I would imagine. Then let's see, how many Darnold? So there's 49 Darnold teams advancing. Let's see what some of these look like. Look at these. Drake May, Sam Darnold, Kenneth Walker, Ramondre, Puka, Diggs, Henry, Mac Hollins. Man, that is a nice team. That is a nice team. There's 16 Darnold JSNs. Yeah, let's see what those look like. Here is one of those. Okay, Darnold, Kyron, Walker, JSN. So that one doesn't have a full roster. Darnold, Kyron, Walker, JSN, Shaheed. Let's see. Are any of you guys on this board? Do any of you guys have full teams here that are advancing? I recognize Sniper. That's Harbs, I believe. He's got a Darnold, Walker, JSN, Shaheed. Joe Callie, I think I recognize that user name. Darnold, Kyron, Walker, JSN. Limehouse is solid. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. So you have May, Ramondre, Henry, Booty, Douglas. And then you have Darnold, Walker, JSN. Yeah, that one's real nice. Like, that accomplishes so much because, man, you have basically, you have the high-end pieces that you really want. You want JSN, you want Walker, you want Ramondre, you want May. But then you also want some random-ass shit that a lot of people aren't going to have. Like, how many teams have DeMario Douglas in the finals? Because that's going to be nice. Yeah, only 7 advancing teams have DeMario Douglas. There's our guy, Mossy here. What does Mossy have? May, Ramondre, Walker, Diggs, Henry, DeMario. That can certainly make some noise there. Who else would be like a really random-ass player that you would like to have? I mean, the Mac Hollins does seem pretty nice. He immediately came back and had a pretty big role there. Six Mac Hollins teams. There's our guy. Fantasy football is fun. Yeah, this is a nice team here too. Drake May, Ramondre, Henry, Booty, Hollins, and then you have Corum and Puka on the other side. There's no way anyone has Halani. There's no way. There's no way, right? If someone has Halani, I will. Yeah, I was going to spit out my coffee. Bobo. Did anyone draft Bobo? How would you get a Bobo team this far? Yeah, no Bobo. Hooper, maybe there's one. Okay, yeah, I nailed it. One Hooper team. Yeah, that would feel good. Stafford, Kyron, Corum, Puka, and then you have the New England shitters coming back. That's actually pretty good. I guess, would you want New England shitters associated with May, though? I guess it doesn't really matter. But yeah, Stafford, Kyron, Corum, Puka, and then Booty, Douglas, and Hooper. That's kind of a dream as far as low-owned pieces coming back. The Pop Douglas and the Hooper. Yeah, Henderson, I bet there's not too many. I mean, he was expensive. Wow, I lied. 66 people were able to get a Henderson team through. But honestly, does it matter? He's one, he's going to be high owned, and 2, he's barely playing. Well, little daily Rojo here. Trevion, Ramondre, Puka, and Adams, but the Caleb and Bo Nix there. Interesting. So yeah, this was playing. Yeah, one off Bo Nix, Caleb. So needed Chicago versus either Patriots. Just needed Chicago Patriots. Was the only Super Bowl that was going to be live for. Barner. What's the Barner at? 6 Barner teams there. Yeah, that's not too bad. Actually, no, this one is a Stafford team. Yeah, I don't know why I was saying that like the Rams were in. Someone said Kyle Williams. That would be an interesting one there. 9 advancing teams with Kyle Williams here. Yeah, let me exclude Stafford so that I don't get tripped up here. Drake May. I guess you could have Stafford. Was it possible to get Stafford May? I guess I can just look. Were there Stafford May teams? Yeah, 6 of them there. So I guess some of these could be okay. But you still probably have too much Rams there. New England shitters sounds like the scariest gang of kids that'd be romping around Boston in the 1920s. Arroyo. I'm going to guess 0 Arroyo teams. Yeah, none. I mean, it's too thin. Like, if you think about it, it was hard enough to get the good Seattle pieces advanced. I guess the question is did anyone get more than 3 Seattle pieces? I think we probably saw a couple, but is there a way to search for that? If we only look at Seattle and how do we get the NE here? There's NE, and then let's exclude. We can exclude LAR here. Let's see. So there's only 12 teams advancing that have exclusively pieces from this game. There's 3. There's the May, Ramondre, Walker, Diggs, Henry, Douglas. Can we find one team? There's a Darnold, Ken Walker, JSN. So there's just 3. That's not going to do it. Al Boogie, 2 pieces. Z Buckley, that's not going to do it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's probably a single Seattle stack with more than 3. I guess if I remove the New England qualifier, you might be able to find some. I don't know. But yeah, it's I think if you have more than 3 Seattle pieces, you are looking good. Man, this team advanced with 42 points. Al Boogie has Darnold, K9, and Trev. No, I need to win, Pete. Good luck. All right. I think that's enough playoff best balling for me. I do kind of want to tilt myself. I want to see what the big mitten playoffs are looking like. What's advancing in that? This is the one that we were trying to sneak a team in. So we didn't have good pod luck here because 66.46 would have advanced in a few other pods. That's just how she goes. Stafford, Harvey, Corin. Let me even exclude LAR here. Wow. There's not a single team advancing without LAR pieces. Let's just see if anyone has Seattle pieces. There's 3 teams in the biggest mitten that have Seattle. So you have a May, Walker, Adams, Diggs. That's like a dream in this size contest. Stafford, Kyron, Walker. Why am I still looking at so yeah, you can't even exclude the Rams because it just takes out so many people. But yeah, that foursome there. This would just be Walker there. And then here's one that has Henderson, Ramondre, Walker. And so just 3 there. So yeah, this is probably your favorite here. 1 quarterback, May, Walker, Adams, Diggs. Driver Tone just going to run away with the 20K there probably. I assume it's the same in the other biggest mitten. Only 2 teams. Oh, there's K-Bash. But yeah, Stafford. But he has Darnold Walker. Probably going to be good enough. I guess we got to see what the New England pieces are on these as well. Oh, there's Eli from the Discord here. What does he have? Ramondre Booty. I keep reading these teams, and you guys probably noticed too. I keep reading these teams listing some of the Rams as if I think they're still alive, which I very much realize they are not. All right, so there you go. I think like overall, like a pretty fun playoff best ball year in that you get one of the 1 seeds gets there, which is obviously hard to advance, but makes it pretty fun if you're able to sneak some of those guys through. But yeah, almost impossible, right, to get JSN there, just because the opportunity cost of what you were passing on in round one, you know, when Puka goes nuts, Josh Allen goes nuts. I guess we can look here. Was there a single JSN team that's advancing? There's 30 JSN teams. Yeah, how do you even get Fantasy Grinder here? Yeah, it's like Walker JSN, so you only have 2 pieces there. Going to be a lot of non-full Super Bowl lineups, I'm guessing, if you have JSN. Did we already look at this B Wakey? Because this team is sick. Darnold, Walker, JSN coming back with Hendo, Stevenson, Diggs, and Henry. Yeah, that's real nice. That's real nice right there. It'll be interesting to see PD's percentage chances to take this down once we get some Super Bowl projections up here. Congrats to everyone for their last ever playoff BB year without Pat involved. I thought at first when I read this message that you meant Karain and it was like a commentary on the sidekick. But of course you just mean Mahomes. Mahomes, you're on a first name basis with him. All right. Let's see here. Anything else you guys care about in the playoff best ball streets here? We can see I hadn't even, I think our playoff best ball portfolio is pretty dead over here on FFPC. What's in first right now? So, yeah, Puka and JSN can be really hard for those guys not to be optimal. Ramondre, really hard for him not to be optimal. I'm trying to think what could shake up the Super Bowl here, because most of these top teams are going to have Ramondre and JSN. Let's see here. Like if you take out like JSN, what's the highest team up here? In 6th place, there is a Kenneth Walker team opposite Drake May. So I guess this team would be live. Yeah, this team's definitely live because it's only what, 412 versus 419. Yeah, so that team could cook with a May Walker. You could definitely see that script getting home. And then if you exclude Ramondre, you're basically looking for some of these May teams. Yeah, so May. So there's a lot of May JSN teams that are still in the hunt, maybe. But I think ideally, you'd kind of like to be in that guy's spot who doesn't have either Ramondre or JSN. Obviously, you'd love to be in the spot where you have those guys blocked. But if you were charging, I think this is the team you'd probably want with May double points and then Walker. You could certainly see it being a Walker and May game. Any Darnold? Let's see. Darnold in this. Yeah, how many people got to Darnold? 58 teams, but yeah, way back. I wonder if there's a correlation there where if you were likely to use Darnold, you were also likely to get way off the board with some of your other picks. I guess this doesn't seem too crazy. It's a Darnold. I mean, you played Gainwell in Houston defense, Dicker, faded Carolina, faded Green Bay. Honestly, like not a bad construction here. But yeah, probably too much to overcome there. I don't even know what other plays would have been viable that you would have you in the hunt still. I guess like there's no way a Henderson team is just dead. I guess there's one in 105th. Maybe some people played a little Hunter Henry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there's a team in 15th with Hunter Henry. So that's it. Look at that. 23.0. You could leave a candle on for a team like this where it's like Hunter Henry has a PPR, 1.5 PPR scam game, and he could make some noise there. B-Zig circling back to the Big Mitten 2. Me and Driver Tone are the only ones with May in the BM2. I have some more players than him, but he has Walker. Okay. Well, that'll be a fun sweat, though. what is it? Is it 20K and 10K for first and second? So you're locking up a good chunk of change and then have a nice little Super Bowl sweat. Yeah, PD, you got to be better, man. You got to be better, bro. If I'm going to come on my stream on Monday morning and I'm going to pull up your godforsaken site and there are some digits flying off the screen, brother, you got to shut it down. You got to shut it down. I'm going to actually Venmo request you for $100. The fact that I had to look at this, the fact that every time I click a Hunter Henry team, I have to see what is this? Is this some kind of fucking contest to see how many digits of pi you can recite? Be better, PD. Be better. All right, I need some coffee here. What else can we look at here today? What else can we look at? I think I got eliminated in one of my other Guillotine leagues, which is unfortunate. I did one with people from the Fantasy Life newsletter, and they absolutely smoked me. These guys were not fucking around. They blocked me on waivers. How close was I to advancing here? Okay, it was double chop. Yeah, I was nowhere even close. Wow, a Stidham team advancing though. So you're gonna have to do some work on the waivers there. The one team we did one on Fantasy Life stream, and I'm still, let me see here. Refresh, brother. Refresh. I do like this format. These playoff teams where the lowest scoring team moves on. But in this one, I'm going to have so much work to do on the wire because I lost Stafford, Harvey, Sutton, Kyron. But I guess I have Diggs, I have Henry, I have Ramondre, and I have JSN. That's a decent core for the Super Bowl there. So, yeah, there's my Guillotine action. We can check in on Splash. I'd lost my two main teams in there. Does anyone have anything going in the big Splash 1 million NFL Survivor? Let's see. Yeah, pretty interesting as far as, I mean, you can see what people have left here. If you've used Seattle, it means you're forced into New England here and so forth. 251 remaining. So you're going to have what? You're going to have a decent amount of chop, depending on what the percentages are for these guys in there. 251. So even if it was, so it's 1 million. So even if you assume it was 50-50, which I don't think that's a safe assumption. But if it's like, I don't know, what's 1 million divided by 125? How much is that? $8,000 each. Is that what you're looking at for the equity there? Not too bad. Not too bad there. I did really enjoy the playoff survivor stuff though. Help me, tell me who should I pick in my my Rick Run Good here? I guess the pool's not available yet. What did you need so far? Sony C got her up. That was like the who was the player we looked up on Off and on the Clock? Or was it on Swolecasting? Caller Up? There was Caller Up, which was like a Seattle tight end or something, and now there's got her up here. And then Scheffler. Lots of long hitters this week. All right. I got to get in the lab. Nick says, I've got a beautiful slappy drafted Pat Seahawks team in the DK 400K divisional special round. Luther Burden is the only player on my roster not in the Super Bowl. Congrats to you, Nick. That sounds beautiful. Is your avatar Spags wearing a lot of hats? Nice. Yes. Yes, I think I need to get serious about this one and done. Cause I'm not playing well. Oh, look at this little Scott Bloomstein up here. Former World Series of Poker main event champ in the streets with a little Goddard up and Siwoo Kim. Look at that. I am excited. I'm sure on Swolecast we'll be getting into some March Madness survivor pools as well, which will be something to look forward to. All right. Let's see here. What do we want to look at next? Do we have anything? Do we have anything? This is the lobby right now. We have the putting green, the PGA Farmers Insurance Open. We have the Dinger, 200K to first. We have the Albatross, 50K to first, majors only. We have the Little Albatross. We have Monday Puck Drop. We have Forecheck. We have Monday Night Hoops, Alley-Oop, buzzer beater. So we have NBA stuff. We have the big board. We have the little board. We have the war room. How about this for a game? I'm not drafting a team, but how about this? How about you guys name a player and I try to guess their ADP? And I promise I have not looked at anything other than the Pat Bryant Denver stuff. Let's see how far off I am on big board ADPs here. Kyle Pitts. Actually, Crutches, this one's cheating because I did hear people talking about this on Twitter, that he's at like ADP of 40 or something. So I'm cheating on that one. I did hear people talking about that, but we can look. Pitts, yeah. Kyle Pitts, 52. Okay, so he's already falling. He's already falling a little bit. Xavier Worthy, man, that's a good one. He's got to be, he has to have fallen, but not a ton. I'm going to guess Xavier Worthy's like 55. 55 would be my Worthy guess. 108. Okay. All right. I am bad at this. I am officially bad at this. And I hate to say it. That's a buy. Xavier Worthy is a buy at 108. Dude was barely healthy this year. That's a buy. All right. Hendo. This is a good one too. I don't think the market's going to go quietly on Hendo. He's probably 60 again. Like I think he's probably going similar to where he opened up last year. I'm going to say 60. 45.8 again. I need to do better. I'm almost guessing where I think they should be and not where the market is going to put them. Let me recenter here. Let me get better. You're talking about DK, brother. We covered DK earlier, and no, I did not have any time to do DK playoff best ball stuff. Ramondre ADP, that is a good one. He's definitely moved up. He's not going to be ahead of Henderson. He's got to be in that like Pacheco, Caleb Johnson range from last year, but maybe a little higher just because people are excited about what he's done. I'll say 68 for Ramondre. I'll say 68. 69. See, I'm getting better. I'm getting better at this. Oh, man, I don't even know what to do with this one. Brandon Ayuk, who is not going to be on the Niners. He's got to be way low. He's got to be like 140? 140? Let's see. 137. See, I'm heating up, guys. I am heating up. Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft is a good one. Before the injury, I mean, he would have been going at like pick 50. Obviously, you got to bake in a little injury discount. People are generally down on tight ends other than Kyle Pitts, apparently. I'm going to say Tucker Kraft still is going like 79. Tucker Kraft 79. 88. Getting warmer. I'm getting warmer. Parker Washington, who finished the season on fire. I'm curious how the market, there's so many variables there of like, does BTJ leave? Is Travis Hunter fully healthy? Parker Washington strikes me as a really comfy click at like 110, but then the market is very excited about him coming off this year, so they push him up a little more. I'm going to say Parker Washington 96. 85. See, they even pushed him up more than I would have thought. Michael Wilson versus Marvin Harrison Jr. That's another really good one. If Parker Washington is at 85, Michael Wilson is going to be higher than that. This feels almost like it could be a Bears situation last year, like DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, where you have Marvin Harrison is probably in the 40s and Michael Wilson is in the 70s. I'll say my official guess, Marvin Harrison 42, Michael Wilson 76, 42 and 76. 68 and 74. Wow. I was way off about the market nuking Harrison. So pretty close on Wilson and way off on Harrison. Okay. Travis Hunter. Well, if we have Parker Washington where we had Parker Washington, and if we have Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison at 74, man, what are people doing with Hunter? I feel like somewhere in the 80s would be like a decent price for him, but I feel like just the way I've seen people talk about him and how hyped people are on Parker Washington, I think he's going to be kind of nuked. I'll say 98 for Travis Hunter. 130. Wow. That feels like a buying opportunity. Shocker. I am in on Travis Hunter and Xavier Worthy at these prices. Let's see. Adonai Mitchell. I don't think there's going to be a ton of buzz for Adonai Mitchell. I guess you still have quarterback concerns. He's like a sexy player you pick at like 135. 135? 157. Okay. So even then a little frothy. Debo, I mean, people were so down on Debo by the end of the year. He's going to be older. He's going to be fatter. I guess Jaden will be healthy, but Debo's going to be very cheap. I will say Debo's 145. 127. Okay. There you go. 127. Let's see here. Jeremiah Love. Okay. So this is the top running back prospect. I mean, he's going to be what? I've seen him mocked to like the Chiefs and stuff, mocked as a round 1 pick. I know what the market's going to do. He has to be a second round pick. I will say he's 19. 21. There you go. Drake May. This is a good one here. Drake May. Probably way too pricey. I bet he's going like 55. 39. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Is that the leg up ranking? Or is that where the market's really taking him? Hurts has to be lower than May then, right? Hurts is going to be like 52. 78. Okay. All right. I'm losing my fastball. Man, Hurts, that seems cheap. Ridley has to be free. What are we talking, like 160? 164. Okay, I nailed it. Gunnar Helm. Gunnar Helm. What is Gunnar Helm? Gunnar Helm is, I'll say 174 for Gunnar Helm. 232. There you go. See, I was even bullish on Gunnar Helm there. I already did a couple of these. Tyler Warren, that's a good one. He's definitely going to get pushed up, not as high as Loveland. He is probably in the, I'd say low 80s for Warren. Okay. 67. Alec Pierce, definitely could be in a new location, but did finish the season strong. He seems like a 110 to me. Alec Pierce, 110. 61. Oh my God. People love Alec Pierce. I'm getting worse at this. Kittle. Where's Kittle? Coming off the injury. You got some of these young guns pushing up. I'm going to say Kittle's like 72. 132. Oh my God. I should quit this game. I'm getting bad at this. Jaden Daniels. I mean, if Hurts was at like 72, I mean, Jaden's got to be maybe slightly ahead of him. 65 for Daniels. 73. Okay. Mendoza. I mean, I don't think people are excited about like his skill set for fantasy, and it's going to be a bad situation where he goes. I mean, he's got to be free, right? 180 Mendoza. 156. Okay. Tank Dell. What a blast from the past. I have no clue. He's got to be in the 200s, right? I'll say 215 for Tank Dell. 160. Wow. All right, Chargers wide receivers, and then we can end this bit because I feel like I'm getting progressively worse at it. Chargers wide receivers. Ladd, people will still like Ladd, but he'll be down, more in the 50s, I would say. See, maybe like 52. QJ, I mean, if Alec Pierce is going in the fucking 60s, I mean, QJ's probably in the 80s. And then, you're going to make me do like Trey Harris. Trey Harris started to come on at the end of the year. I'm not doing Keenan. Trey Harris is probably like 115. I'll go Ladd 50, QJ 80, Trey Harris 115. Ladd 37, QJ 86, Trey Harris 215. Okay, I was way frothy on Trey Harris. I was pretty close on Ladd and QJ. I thought people would have been pushing up Harris. I thought people would have been excited about him. All right, you guys like this. Carolina running backs, Brooks and ETN included. They all have to be fairly cheap, right? I mean, it seems like you'd have the Chuba Rico stuff in like both in the 120 range, or maybe that's way too low on one of them. People love Rico. People love Rico. So I'll say Rico 85, Chuba 130. I'm not doing those other guys. They all have to be free. Chuba 94, Rico 104. Okay, so I was initially right that they would be closer together, and then I gave a huge bump to Rico because I thought people liked Rico more. But wow, Chuba going ahead of Rico. Darren Waller, whatever, 250, 240, undrafted, 235. Rams tight ends, Ferguson has to be going first, but it can't be that expensive. I don't know. I'll say Ferguson 140, Parkinson 180, Higbee 200. I don't know. Ferguson 170, Parkinson 170, Higbee 237. I'm surprised Ferguson isn't going a lot higher than Parkinson. All right, Paul's making me feel better. Harris went way higher than that in my only big board draft. Ooh, Kenny Gainwell, that's a good one to game out. Yeah, awesome year. I still think people will be a little nervous about him, but could he be as high? Would he be higher? I bet he's higher than Rico and Chuba. I don't know, man. I'll say 88. I'll say 88 for Gainwell. 131. Okay. I'm bad at this. Adam Prentice. Kyler Murray. I mean, Kyler has to be absolutely nuked. 150 would be my guess for Kyler. 151. Okay, I'm back. Dart. Yeah, where are people drafting Dart? He's got to be right around the Hurts and Jaden, maybe slightly behind. I'll say 86 for Dart. 72. All right. Okay. I think that's about good for us here today. I don't really have anything else for us today. Honestly, I would entertain going longer, but I need to go and watch our small child who has probably terrorized the house in this past hour and relieve Lauren so she can get back to work here. But I appreciate all of you guys. And yeah, we'll be back for normal shows this week. Swolecast, although I think Kitchen is threatening not to be there because he has no power or internet right now. So we will keep you posted about that. I think a few other programming notes. ADP chasing should be coming back soon, maybe next Tuesday. We're going to have a show later this week on ship chasing. We're going to do a winner circle, bring on some people from the ship chasing community who had some big binks. So you can keep an eye out for that. We'll have Often on the Clock. There's going to be some schedule changes in the near future. I'll also be taking a little bit of time off, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll try to keep you guys posted on that. Otherwise, happy snow day. Good luck to everyone with your Super Bowl sweats. I'll definitely have some showdown shows. I normally do a show with Cody Main each year, so you can look forward to that. And I'm going to have After Dark this weekend. I believe Yes, I booked Daniel Raz. You guys know him from Leg Up, super sharp guy. We generally talk about a little bit NFL and some movie stuff. He's always way ahead of me on catching all of the latest and greatest in cinema. So we'll talk to him about what he's been digging as well. I'm sure I'm forgetting something else. I'm trying to get my bearings this week. But yeah, I will be around. You can catch us in the Deposit Kingdom Discord. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll catch you next time on the Portfolio Review.